So I'll just hand it off to Irene and we can get started.
So for treasurer duties, the general duties that you guys will be having are, and the main important one is to track your membership dues and also prepare and keep track of your club's budget. And if you're going to have a fundraising or like a fundraiser or like a service project you want to do, always plan a fundraising goal, maintain accurate financial records. For weekly duties, first pay all bills as approved by your officers and advisors. Always keep your advisors updated with finances. And you should always, of course, attend all club meetings and officer meetings. To elaborate more on the dues, so dues are $13.50 for each member. And for like of the $13.50, $7 goes to Key Club International and $6.50 goes to the New Jersey District. But you can also, when you're charging dues, you can increase it up to $18.50, which is, an additional $5 to charge for yourselves and for your own operations. And then for dues, the deadline, early bird deadline, is November 1st, and the regular deadline is December 1st.
Yeah, so I just want to chime in here real quick. Dues are really important. So as a treasurer, this is your main goal, to get those dues in on time and preferably by that early bird dues deadline, which she also talked about. But this is just an award that you can get at Decon if you send in your members' dues and it's postmarked by November 1st. So it has to be received by November 1st. It's really great. It just shows like you're a really dedicated club and that you can get these dues in on time. But if you can't, just make sure it is on sent in by the regular deadline, because if you don't send it in by that deadline, then technically you're not a club anymore. And then you can also, as she said, you could charge up to $5. This is if you want to fundraise for your club, have some extra like income coming in, so you could spend it on, let's say you have like a year-round carnival or something and you need money for that. That's a great way to do it. So yeah.
And I'm just gonna chime in here. So what my advisor did was by November 1st, whatever members that had paid their dues, he submitted those. But throughout the month of like November, and then by December 1st, he submitted them again, just to make sure we didn't have like any loose ends. So that's one thing. So communication with your advisor is really important, because they're the ones that are going to be ultimately submitting your dues. So just be wary on that. And how to motivate your club, like Grace emphasized, dues are extremely important. They help run Key Club Board and its activities, and it fundraises for events such as Decon. So submitting your dues by the early bird deadline, which is November 1st, will help your club qualify for an award at Decon. So I would say just at every meeting before November 1st, just keep emphasizing it, because if they're like me, they're going to procrastinate and not submit their dues until like October 31st. So I would just keep emphasizing how important dues are, and each Key Club member that pays will get like a Key Club card, like a little pin and a certificate. So that's just something for them. So start encouraging your members early, because the dates will catch up to you quick. And I think you need, maybe Grace, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like 15 members to be like an official club. So just make sure that you're continuously promoting dues. That's like your main goal as treasurer.
Yeah, I totally agree with her on that. They actually changed it at International Convention last year to 11. So if you have a really small club and you still want to like be a club, you could actually register just 11 and technically you're all set. We'll explain how to do this membership update center thing a little bit later, probably in the next few slides. Sometimes treasurer is like a really versatile position, because sometimes you won't have to do this. Some advisors won't let you touch money at all. So it really depends on your club. So I would suggest talking to your treasurer from last year if possible. Hopefully they'll answer you if they're in college. But that's really helpful, because then you'll like know the ropes of your own club.
Okay, we're gonna show you guys a video about how to pay dues.
Membership Update Center. Currently you're looking at the keyclub.org homepage. From here, to get to the Membership Update Center, what you're going to do is you're going to click on Resources. That is going to bring up this page. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see a section where the third item over is advisors. You're going to click on Get Resources. This will take you to the advisor resource page. And then the second one over, as you scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see Dues and Reports. You're going to click on Learn More. This is going to take you to a page where there is a link to the Membership Update Center. You're going to click on that link. And when you click on that link, it's going to open up to a login screen. When you get to this login screen, you're going to put in your email address and your logon, and then you're going to have to click on this drop-down menu after you put in your email address and your password, and you're going to have to make sure you're choosing your school. Once you do that, it's going to take you to this page here, and you're going to want to click on the Membership Update Center right here on the left-hand side. From here, probably the first thing that you're going to want to do is come down to graduation year and select the prior year. The students that graduated from the prior year. This will give you all your seniors. You can check all the boxes, and then you can delete all of those seniors. Next thing you're going to want to do is come back in. You can do it by class, or you can hit Select All and remove any students that are no longer part of the organization. Once you've completed that, you have two choices for adding members. You can click on Add New Member, and when you bring up this screen, it's going to give you a screen that gives you quite a bit of detail, and you don't need to complete all this detail. But then you also have the option to use the bulk Add New Members. Okay, and when you go into that screen here, you're going to see that it's just asking you for a name and email address. Once you're done adding the new members, you can click back on Members here at the top, and it gives you the option to come in here and complete your roster and print your invoice. What this will do is when you click on this Finance tab, after you do that, it will give you the bill that you can print out and present to your bookstore or your Kiwanis Club for them to go ahead and process it for payment. Keep in mind that you can update your roster later on, so you could pay your dues today, and then you can come back in and add additional people, and when you click on Complete Roster and Print Invoice, what it's going to do is give you an invoice for the additional members. One other thing that I forgot to mention, and we're going to go back here to the dashboard. On the dashboard tab, one of the things we do want you to also populate is your officers. So please populate the officer information in here. That gives us additional information about your club and gives us contact information for the lieutenant governors and the governor as far as who are the officers in your individual club. This concludes the training on how to update your roster through the Membership Update Center.
Okay, great. So I know that was a lot of information just kind of like thrown at you guys. But as I said before, it's really important just to check in with your like past treasurer, just because I know at my home club, Point Beach, we don't have to do this at all. In fact, our advisor does a lot of it for us. So it's important to know if you guys, if the advisor does let you do this, but just check in with your advisor as well to see exactly what your duties are. Okay, so here's an example of a budget. This, again, like all the stuff, kind of take with a grain of salt, because sometimes you will have to do yearly budgets, which is great. That's awesome that your club is doing that. But other times your advisor doesn't do this, your school doesn't do this. So what I'm going to explain is just an example of a yearly budget. And this is just, it kind of shows what you're spending and like what income you're receiving for the year. So let's say I have like a big carnival. That's our biggest expense. We're putting that down. We like to print out newsletters that our editors make. You want to put that down, how much, like you just want to estimate how much that's going to cost. International convention, if you guys save for that and let like maybe your officers, you want to put that down. And then you just put what month you spend it through and the year, and then you have everybody sign off on it. It's just a way for you to make sure that you know where everything in your like account is going. So I know every club should have like a school like key club account that you take money from and put money in, let's say for like UNICEF or any like fundraising. And so you'll be using that, and this budget will just go along with that if you do make a budget. And it's really simple. I would suggest making it with your advisor just so you know, and also your president, just so you know like everything that you're going to be spending for that year. It's on like a club to club basis. So yeah, but that's basically it for the budget. If you have any questions, just please let me know. I can actually give you an example of a budget if you want it, and I can also help out. So feel free to email me or if you have any questions. Okay, here's another example of an expense voucher form. So vouchers are really important because you want to have receipts for whatever you spend. If you ask like a member to go out and buy, I don't know, batteries, you want them to get a receipt just to make sure they didn't spend, let's say they wanted some candy. We want to make sure they didn't spend candy from our account, you know? So this is a voucher form where they have to write what is it. So in this case, it would be batteries. How much was it? And they also have to attach a receipt. Hold on, I just gotta let somebody in. So they also have to attach a receipt. And this is pretty stationary for every club. I know in Key Club in general, if you want to vouch for something, you need to have a receipt or we cannot give you your money back. That's just a way that we know that you're being truthful, and that's just how it goes. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. The total, less cash advance, and actual reimbursement. Those are just saying, okay, how much was it and how much will they actually get back? Sometimes you need the signature, definitely the signature of you and your advisor. And if it's a check, you write the check number. Again, if you have any questions on this, please let me know. I can actually give you an example voucher that you can use for your club. Okay. So that's basically it. As a treasurer, you really want to support your other officers, especially your president and vice president, and anything that you can. Your rush hour, or like the biggest part of your job, is in the fall when new members are being recruited. That's really important as a treasurer to try to get your members up so you can have more than you had the year before, so you can keep like having a strong club. So you're definitely going to be dealing with that, maybe setting up, stands at your like club. I forget what it's called. You know what I mean though? The club like orientation kind of thing, freshman orientation, stuff like that, club fairs. You want to have a stand up so everybody knows what Key Club is and so you can get more members. And yeah, in the fall, you're going to be doing a lot. I know in my club, we did a lot of the like checks. We had to put them in a spreadsheet just to make sure we had everybody, and then we'd cash those and put them in our account at the bank. After that, basically, you want to start fundraising for your club if you're planning on going to anything like decon. That can be very expensive. Fundraising for, we usually do, honestly, we do a lot of big, like expensive kind of things during the end of the year, so we save for that. And that's about it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Here you could find my email along with Irene's and Hannah's. If you have any questions, we would be happy to help in any way. But that's it. If you guys want to chime in at all, that sounds good to me.
This does sound like a lot of information is just being thrown at you, but keep in mind we are recording the meeting. So if there's any information that you want to come back to, you can. It's probably going to be posted on our on our YouTube. Not just this presentation, but all the presentations from any of the RTCs. So if you feel like you missed anything or just want to check back, this will always be there for your reference. And part of being treasurer is just keep in mind for fundraising, like Grace was saying, if you're planning on going on to Fall Rally or Key Leader or Decon, those are things that are expensive. But if you fundraise with your club, you can kind of lighten the load, and that way it'll encourage more of your members to attend. So does anyone have any questions?
So at my school, it's kind of hard for us to, because our school, we can't physically touch money. So for fundraising, I was wondering like if you had any ideas to how we could do that to get more money for our club so we could go to these more expensive events and get more activity there.
Yeah, so my first step for that would definitely be talking to your advisor, seeing what exactly the rules and regulations are. My go-to for fundraising is a bake sale, especially when the APs or the SATs are coming up, because everybody loves just like baked goods. If you can't touch money, then that's going to make that tricky, but hopefully you could figure out with your advisor a way that you guys could maybe set it up where she could be there or another teacher can be there during maybe lunch or something like that, where you're able to collect that. I'd say, yeah, it really depends on the advisor, but please reach out to her, maybe email her, see what you can do. because fundraising is really important as a treasurer because, you know, you want to keep that money up so you can go to decon or you can have these really cool service events.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
What do I put for position on the survey? Are you an officer?
If you're a treasurer, then just put treasurer. If you're like a member, put general member.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Have a good day.